Yo, another live stream. It is hot. Got a lot of work done today. As you can tell, the layout here is a little. Went ahead and got a table put together and took the 5-foot table out of the room. The 5-foot table is right outside and will be used for mixing nutrients, for storing packaging material, dab sessions, other people come over, stuff like that. Basically, I'm trying to eliminate everything out of this room that does not revolve around me putting in work. Dabbing is me putting in work, so it needs to stay here. But if I have people over, this is not a fun hangout area. It's like shoving fucking sardines in a can, and I ain't about that life. Also, I've got to stop playing music because YouTube threatened to delete my channel if I keep playing copyrighted music. So we're just gonna play instrumentals. All right, there we go. Got the chat pulled up now. Cool. What's up, you guys? Northern Cali, Sean. I've got a couple followers that make music for me, like Mystic the Goat makes music. I play a lot of his music on here, but I mean, I want to switch it up every once in a while, you know, and it's a little hard to do that. So, anyways, the reason for this video is not just to hang out, but to teach you guys about vegetative crop steering. Okay? And so what that is basically in veg, there's a certain way that you can promote growth that's more vegetative, right? Versus generative, which is flowering. So in crop steering, the vegetative cycle, you want to have smaller irrigation events more often, and you want those that first irrigation event to happen within an hour or 2 hours of turning the lights on. And what the saying is transpiration before irrigation. So as the plants are drying back overnight, it's a very slow, continuous dry back. Imagine a curve that's slowly going down. When the lights come on in the morning, that curve is going to like drop suddenly, and that's when the plants start to transpire more. That curve that I'm talking about is the water content percentage curve. So what happens is when the lights turn on, the plants start transpiring more, and that means they're ready to be irrigated. If you're tracking your water content percentage, you can see that happen. So I'll show you that graph and how it correlates to the times. So we'll just look at today. Now, just looking at today, I'm gonna go back to before 6 a.m. That was before 6 a.m. It was at 67, 68%. Now, by the time 6 a.m. hit, this is 6:28, we're now down to 65%. All right, so we're definitely transpiring. Now, if I go in a little bit more at 7:28, that's an hour and a half after the lights come on, we're now down to 62%. So what that tells us is those plants are definitely transpiring now that the lights have been on, okay? If I go even further, it gets down to 61% by 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, right? Now, what I did is, once I saw that was happening, I applied an irrigation event. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get to it. So, there's a little bump in the graph there. That was a watering event where I watered, okay? Now, that was at 12 o'clock today, or 12:28. And that watering took my overall water content percentage up to 69% by 12:30. Okay? Now, what you're looking for when you water is you're gonna water and veg a 3% shot size. Okay? Which means in my rock wool cubes, their total volume of water that they can hold, I want to feed 3% of that volume in veg. So for my jumbo cubes, the 6x6x4 rock wool cubes, those, a 3% shot equates to 71 mLs. Okay? So double that would give you your 6% shot. Now, that 3% shot, you're going to go ahead and feed that when the, an hour or two after the lights first come on, and then you're going to wait to see a 1 to 3% dry back before you water again. So it was at 61%. I watered, it went up to 68%, 69% I think, and then over the course of the next 2 to 3 hours, I watched that percentage slowly drop to where it's back down now at 64%. So we've gone from 68 or 69% down to 64. So that shows us now we've had that 3% dry back. Now it's time to irrigate again. We're going to do the same shot size that we did last time, okay? And that's the cycle we're going to continue on. Is we're going to water every time we start to see them transpire again and lose that water volume, that 1-2%, we're going to water again until an hour or two before the lights go off. And that's vegetative crop steering. That dry back period overnight is going to be smaller than in flower, where you're going to stop watering sooner, right, and start watering later. You're going to have a larger dry back. Thank you for the compliment on the shirt. So, now, since we've gone from 68 or 69%, and we're now down at 65%, it's time to schedule a watering. The device time is 4:06. For at 4:08, I'll go ahead and schedule the solenoids. So, 4:08 p.m. I want it to come on for 1 minute and 45 seconds, and I'll test how many mLs that is. 2 minutes was just over 100 mLs. It's a little too much. So I'm going to save that for my solenoid number 1, and then I'm going to go to solenoid number 2, which is my other feed. I'm going to change that. 4:08 p.m. Save. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Save. Now I'm going to go to solenoid 5, which is my bypass solenoid for bleeding off pressure. I'm going to change that. 4:08 p.m. 1 minute, 45 seconds. Confirm. Save. All right. So I don't have my headset on right now. That might bite me in the ass here in a minute. But just kicked on. Bypass is open. It looks like that valve got stuck open, but it closed, so we're good. We're holding 30 PSI here. I didn't make dump out so I can measure it, but I'll measure it right now when it's done. So you can see these are starting to take off now, and we're getting a little bit of runoff here. Get some runoff there. Good amount of runoff there. And then now what I'll do is go ahead and check this runoff. I would like to know the EC and pH, so I'm taking all my probes here. I'm going to stick them in my runoff, and I'm going to allow my meters, sensors, all that to adjust. So we got those in there. Now if you come in here, what are we sitting at? This is saying 6.6. I see meter in here from my Blue Lab. But runoff is coming out a little high. So EC is coming out good, but the pH is a little high. So we need to go ahead, and we did feed them at a lower pH. Drop that back in the reservoir, and you can see we fed them around 5.7, I think, 5.8. So we'll go ahead and drop the pH in the next feed to get that pH down. But that's runoff, that's looking good. So now that that just got watered, we can see that went back up to 68%. So that's the full saturation point, is around 68%. They won't hold more than that. Come on, turn on, Cletus. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and too easy. Let's check another one. Hey babe. Yeah. I wasn't going to go anymore because it's already so close to being time to eat. Why did you need something from Shaders? I'll be in 5 minutes more. Jesus Christ. How fucking hard it is to get a whole work day in without being annoyed. Alright, let's test this one here. Take a reading. 2.6, 2.06. Oh, we're good. So we're looking good. We'll go ahead and maintain things how they are. We'll check our leaf surface temp here. Showing a little low, 74, 74, 77, 77, 74, 74, 76. So looks like we can raise the temp in the room a little bit. And then get the fuck out of here. So I think that's everything. All right, let's take a dab before I go in and deal with the craziness. Dr. Dank almost every time. Bro, you're right. Almost every time. All right. Good dab. gonna go ahead and call it a note on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for stopping in.